So hello class, this is the third meeting in our subject Understanding the Self. So let us have a little recap about our previous discussion. So our first topic was the self in philosophical perspectives. Then the second one was the self in sociological perspectives. Then our third topic under our subject Understanding the Self is the self in anthropological perspective. So, in our first topic, under philosophical perspective, the self was um, associated with body and soul, body and mind. In sociological perspective, they consider the environment in the development of the self. Then, how about in anthropological perspective? So, we will know it later. So first, let us define what is anthropology. Anthropology is a science and philosophical description of the life form, Homo sapiens, the thinking self. So anthropology is the study about the science and the history of Homo sapiens. We are the Homo sapiens, the thinking man. The science of anthropology is Doctrina Humanae Naturae, includes the bodily characteristics of human as well as their spiritual, psychic, and moral dignity. So basically, in the anthropological study, they study about the physical, the history, the nature of man. So madaming fields ang involved sa anthropology. So what is the focal point of anthropology? Yung focus. Focal point is the focus. Ano ba ang focus ng anthropology? Man in the physical, cultural, and existential features with the purpose of gaining a deeper understanding of man's place in the world. So the focal point or the focus of anthropology is knowing the physical, the cultural, and the existential features of a man. Kung paano nakasurvive ang man from the earliest period in time until now. So, di ba? Ini-study yan ng anthropology. Ano yung ginawa ng man para mag-survive sa hinabahaba ng panahon. So here, we're going to discuss about culture because culture is greatly affects man. Culture greatly affects man. So first, what is culture? Culture is a system of human behavior and thoughts. That's according to anthropologist Edward Taylor. So, ang kultura daw ay isang sistema ng ugali at mga nalalaman, thoughts. So, we can see in the pictures, on the upper picture, that is the culture of Mexico. Dancing like that, with that kind of outfits. Masasabi natin na that is a culture of Mexico. How about the picture below? That is the culture of Filipino. That is the Nazareno, di ba? Filipino lang ang gumagawa ng ganyan. So, we can say that there are a lot of features to consider in culture. So, in the first picture, damit. Yung isa, relihiyon. So, kabilang ang mga yan sa culture or kultura. Cultural influences that shapes the self. So in the picture, we can see that culture has a lot of factors. Binubuo ang kultura ng madaming bagay. Mula sa damit, clothes and dressing, working schedule, language, medical cure, religion, child-rearing method, food, folk art, celebrations, jokes, manners, and many more. So first, let us see clothes, diba? We can say that the culture of Filipino and the culture of Chinese and other nations differ sa damit pa lang, di ba? Magkakaiba tayo ng pananamit. Magkakaiba din tayo ng working schedule. Ang working schedule natin is from Mondays to Saturday. So some culture, some nations don't exercise that kind of thing. Sa Spain, they have this siesta, which is actually, we also adopted it during lunch break. Maabot sila ng hanggang alas 2, natutulog sila. Language. We differ in language, diba? Magkakaiba ang lengguwahe ng bawat kultura. Medical cure. In Chinese culture, they believe in herbal medicines, religions, and many more. So, ano ba yung mga nakakaapekto sa pagbuo ng isang pagkatao or the self in connection with culture? So, the first component that influences the self is the material component. Material component pertains to all tangible materials that are inherited from the previous generation. This is the most obvious component because of its physical nature. So ano bang ibig sabihin ng material component? Bakit nakaapekto ang material component sa atin? Ito yung mga bagay na ipinamana sa atin mula sa ating mga ninuno, mula sa mga lolo't lola natin, sa mga nanay, tatay. Yun yung mga tangible materials na hahawakan. So as you can see in the pictures here, pinamana sa atin ang paggamit ng palayok sa pagluluto, ang paggamit ng barot, saya, bilang pananamit, and many other things. Diba? Bakit kaya? Because, for example, the way we dress. The way we dress before is the barot saya. So, because we were the clothing that we were used to do are like that, it influences our behavior. That behavior is we are conservative, di ba? Ang mga tao noon conservative because of the way they dress. What else? Sa mga utensils sa kitchen, it affected us in a way how we cook our food, di ba? Yan. So, ang mga material components ay nakakaapekto sa pag-interpret natin sa mga bagay or pagbuo natin ng mga products. Other material components are the walis tingting, the bahay kubo, examples lang po ito, and the jeepney. So these are my examples because I believe that these are the unique materials from previous generations na naipasa sa atin. Kasi I believe that Filipino lang ang gumagamit ng walis tingting, and the uniqueness of bamboo houses makes us stand out from other nation or culture. And also the jeepney. Diba? I believe that Filipino lang ang may jeepney. So that is the material component. So let us have a recap. Material component are the tangible materials na hahawakan ng mga bagay. The next component is the cognitive component. Cognitive component are divided into ideas, knowledge, and beliefs, values, and accounts. So, the cognitive components ay yung mga paniniwala natin, mga nalalaman natin, mga mga kinaugalian, mga kinaugalian natin. So, dahil ito, in the picture here, dahil kinaugalian natin ang pagmamano, that is a sign of respect to our elderly, we inculcated in ourselves the value of respect to elders, di ba? Other nations don't have that kind of practice. They don't have the idea of respect to the elderly. And also here, pananampalataya, we are very religious because of these practices, especially during Holy Week and other events or celebrations. So, yung mga pinaniniwalaan ng ating mga magulang, pinamana sa atin bilang ugali din natin or paniniwala, then na-inculcate sa atin or naitanim sa atin bilang ugali, kaya nag-iba ang ating behavior. So, kung iisipin ninyo, iba talaga ang Filipino in terms of ugali. Iba din sa ibang nation. Yan. So, the next component is the normative component. Ano naman ang tinatawag na normative component? These are the society's rules and norms na tinatawag nila. So, what is social norms? Social norms are the accepted standard of behavior of social group subheadings. These group range from friendship and work groups to nation states. So, mga social norms na tinatawag natin ay yung mga practices na katanggap-tanggap sa ating lipunan. Mula sa practices natin sa mga kaibigan natin, practice natin kapag pumunta tayo sa palengke, practice natin kapag pumunta tayo sa school, sa ibang mga lugar, at kung sino pang mga nakakahabilo natin or the people who we encounter, di ba? We tend to follow different social norms. So social norms is classified into two, the folkway and the mores. So what is folkway? Folkways are their general rules of customary and habitual ways and patterns of expected behavior in society. So these are also called informal norms. Ano ba ang mga folkways? Yun yung mga ginagawa natin na kahit hindi sabihin ng ibang tao, kailangan natin gawin kasi yun yung standard ng lipunan. Halimbawa, kapag naki-birthday tayo, ang standard ng lipunan kapag naki-birthday tayo ay kunin lamang ang pagkain na kaya nating kainin, di ba? Hindi tayo nagiging takaw tikim, sabi nila. Kasi kapag you exercise, takaw tikim, kumuha ka ng sangkatutak ng pagkain, mag-iiba ang paningin sa'yo ng ibang tao, di ba? You are not following the standard norm na kunin mo lang yung pagkain na kaya mong kainin. And many other things. Ano pa? So here in the Philippines, we are conservative nation, di ba? In the Philippines, we don't really exercise the public display of affection. So sa ibang bansa, they can do that. They can kiss their partners in public, kahit ang daming tao, it is just okay for them. But if you do that here in the Philippines, especially sa mga liblib na lugar, sa mga barrio, sa mga towns, ganon, di ba? It is not yet accepted by the society na pwedeng gawin yung mga ganon. That's why we are tagged as conservative nation or people. Yan. At madami pang iba. Diba? Sa pananamit, di ba? Sa pananamit dito sa Pilipinas, we are conservative nation, kaya minsan na kapag nag-iba ng style yung isang tao, natatag siya as malaswa kasi hindi siya pasok sa norms ng society ng Pilipinas. Ayan. At madami pa kayong may isip tungkol sa iba't ibang folkways natin. Mores. Ano naman ang mores? Ito yung these are the special folkways that are generally emphasized because they are deemed necessary for the welfare of the society. So ito naman yung mga folkways na may associated by batas or sinabatas para maging maproteksyonan ang ibang tao sa gawain na iyon. Halimbawa, recently because of the pandemic, there are a lot of executive orders, ordinances regarding the using of masks and face shields, di ba? For example na lang sa Santiago, di ba? You are not allowed to enter the public market if you're not using face shield and face mask. So that is an example of Morse. Kasi we are not just protecting ourselves, but we do that to protect other people because of the pandemic and many other things. Ano pang ginagawa natin? So, madami. Madami tayong ginagawang Morse and folkways. So, ano ang tatlong component? The material component, the cognitive component, and the normative component. These components directly affects the development of the self. Diba? Yes. So, let us now proceed to the mechanism of cultural change. Bakit nga ba nag-iiba ang kultura natin? Cultural change happens because no society is in constant state. Walang society daw na stagnant or hindi nag-iiba. Lahat ng society ay nag-iiba. Society continuously evolves from one period of time to another. The first mechanism for cultural change is cultural lag. One must take into account both a social need and the cultural goal as mentioned above. Every cultural goal is anchored so on social need. So, nag-iiba ang kultura because of the so-called social lag. Social lag are the practices na nag-stop. Dahil nag-iba na ang panahon, nagkaroon na ng innovation, kaya na-stop ang practice na yon. For example, in the picture before, nung unang-unang panahon, they used animals in cultivating lands, diba? Fields, in agriculture. But then, innovation happened, technological improvement happened, animals are no longer used in cultivating fields. Ginagamit na nila ang tractor, ang reaper, and many other things. So, konti na lang ang pawala na siya. What else? The use of barot saya as a decent form of dress. Or, yeah, as a normal dress dito sa Pilipinas. So, that culture lag. So, because of many other factors, nag-adapt tayo ng ibang way of dress and many more. Diba? Yes. So, ano pa? Before, diba, nung mga unang panahon, ang mga babae ay nananatili lamang sa mga bahay. They stay at home to cook, to clean the house, to take care of the kids. So, yan yung practice noon. That is the culture before. But then again, because of cultural change, that practice ay hindi na siya widely done, di ba? So, ang mga babae ngayon ay mga politicians, mga teacher, kagaya ko, mga professionals, yung iba, professional doctor, and many other fields or many other professions. Diba? So, ayan. Because of innovation, advancement, nagkakaroon ng cultural lag. The next one that influences the cultural change is the cultural borrowing. It is a situation where one society borrows the culture of another society and uses it as new part of the culture. So, in cultural borrowing, umihiram tayo ng kultura ng ibang nation. For example, in the picture, from Barot Saya, we borrowed the culture dress code ng Western countries, like wearing jeans, wearing sneakers, wearing t-shirts, and coloring our hair. Yan. Kaya nagkaroon ng pag-iiba ng pananamit ang mga tao. So, madami pa. So, I'm going to give you another slide to view in connection to our discussion. Mas broad lang siya about cultural change. So can you see my... So in cultural change, there are three other things that happens: assimilation, acculturation, and amalgamation. So ano ba tong mga to? In assimilation, it is the process of embracing a new culture and regarding the same as part of the existing culture. If there is any similar culture that tends to overlap with the newly introduced culture, such old is being replaced with a new one. So we call assimilation kapag in connection siya sa cultural lang. Napapalitan ang kulturang existing ng isa pang kulturang ina-adapt natin. Ganon. For example, we replace the dress code of Bahag into Barong Tagalog from the Spanish period. Then ngayon, we use jeans and t-shirts. Diba? So, nawala ang isang kultura pamalit ng isang kultura. Ng isang practice from another practice. Another one is the baybayin natin, the baybayin alphabet of Filipino. Ni-replace natin ang Filipino alphabet with English alphabet, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. So that practice is called assimilation. Another one is the acculturation. Is the process of embracing the new culture, but this new culture does not necessarily replace the existing culture. The latter continues to exist, and in most instances, it coexists with the new culture. Ang acculturation naman, we borrow culture, but we don't replace our culture with that kind of culture. We just add it to our culture. One does not replace the other. Example is the adoption of foreign food by the Filipinos who continue to love Filipino foods. So, right now, di ba, we are exercising the acculturation by means of adopting the Korean style of eating. Yung samyupsal, di ba? So, samyupsal is a culture of Koreans. So, ina-adapt natin siya, but we are not replacing our adobo and sinigang with samyupsal. They coexist. And with the milk tea, di ba? We don't replace our sagot gulaman with the milk tea. They still coexist with each other. That is acculturation. But in assimilation, we replace that. Kung we exercise assimilation with the milk tea, wala nang sagot gulaman. Milk tea na. Ganon. Or wala nang mga adobo sinigang, puro samyupsal na yung kinakain natin. Ganon. Ganon ang ginagawa sa acculturation. What is amalgamation? Social process of culture pertains to the complete blending of two cultures, which leads to the birth of the new breed of culture. This usually happens when two cultures are equally familiar and influential to the point that both cultures are merged, creating something new. So, in the amalgamation process, dito, nangyayari yan kapag there are two different nationalities that marries each other. So, yung mga households, yan yung amalgamation. They adapt both cultures, the American culture and the Filipino culture in one household. Ganon. That is amalgamation. So, the culture that produces in households, yan ang amalgamation. Customs, beliefs, traditions, values, and norms defines the characteristic of person self-behavior, and actions. The self perceives things and judges them based on his own ideas and beliefs or ways of life one displays. So here, it says that the custom, beliefs, traditions, values, and norms greatly affects the way the self or us as a person decides how we dress, how we interact with other people, and many other things. Diba? How we eat, of course. So, ayan. That is our lesson for today. The self